One of manipulation, Jesus juice.
2026.
Michael Jackson's repulsive legacy should carry the same condemnation as Jeffrey Epstein's. Only survivors who've lived through the torment of predators understand why Jackson and Epstein belong in the same sentence, writes John Casey. Somebody finally had to say it. Dan Reed, the director of the HBO documentary Leaving Neverland, in a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter, compared Michael Jackson to Jeffrey Epstein and, when it came to Jackson, bluntly said, "People just don't care."
He just pulled down
Star allegedly groomed and sexually abused them.
2022 through 2025.
Jackson also had them.
They flew at me years ago when I wrote a column for the New York Daily News about watching Leaving Neverland as an abuse survivor myself. That column was eventually taken down, likely because the comments weren't expressions of sorrow or solidarity. They were death threats, threats to find out where I live. Accusations of being racist. Vile, ugly attacks over my audacity to say anything critical about the pop icon.
Feel like we were are well taken care of. But Paris argues
Dominic Sr. met Jackson in the 1980s.
I'm saying it again anyway, and I'm bracing for more, because only those of us who have been through hell and back, tormented by memories of our predators, truly understand why Jackson and Epstein's names deserve to share a sentence. The accusations against Jackson, Rolling Stone listed them late last month, repeated over decades by dozens of people with nothing to gain and everything to lose, are not coincidences. They are not money grabs.
Those allegations were merely a money grab.
Is Michael Jackson's legacy being protected or exploited?
And trust.
They are not the fantasies of starstruck children. I know this because I recognize what truth looks like when I see it in their eyes, the quiver in their voices, and the shared fear that comes with telling it. I know it because I am one of those people. After the Pennsylvania grand jury investigation into clergy abuse in 2018, I wrote my first column for The Advocate about discovering that one of the priests named in the report was the man who groomed and tried to sexually assault me shortly after my father died.
In 2021 alone, Branca and McLean
Abused all of them as children and supplied them with
and making enormous profit.
It remains the hardest thing I have ever written. Even harder than writing about suicide attempts, harder than writing about a years-long battle with severe depression, because what that priest did partly triggered mental health struggles that lay dormant inside me for years. And when I finally put it on paper, the tears would not stop. The pain was immeasurable. It still is. That is the same pain I see in the eyes of Michael Jackson's accusers.
And was
Eddie, Aldo, Dominic, and Marie Nicole.
Total reported compensation reached.
And this week, fresh testimony from the Casio family on 60 Minutes Australia, long considered Jackson's second family, only deepened what many of us have known for years, that Jackson was a predator, a groomer, a destroyer of childhoods. He and Epstein belong in the same breath, the same sentence, and the same fire pit in hell. Both men wielded their wealth to get what they wanted. Jackson also carried the added power of global superstardom.
And reveal what she called
Wine and Disney juice, which was hard liquor.
Both cultivated access to children through elaborate systems of trust, generosity, isolation, and manipulation. And gross deception. Very gross. Both left behind survivors whose pain is real, ongoing, and deserving of belief. Yet their voices are routinely drowned out by people more interested in protecting a legacy of a deviant than protecting a child. I'm not mincing words when I say that, because that is exactly what I believe.
To the Jackson brand, like the upcoming biographical films
Of Elizabeth Taylor and Elton John. Dominic
in cash.
If you can listen to Billie Jean while refusing to listen to Jackson's accusers, then I have no room for you. The survivors of Jackson and Epstein's alleged actions have spoken and will continue to speak. Tragically, more may still come forward, because there are always more. Always. Those of us who have lived through abuse recognize the fear in the faces of victims telling the truth and the unbearable effort it takes to relive what was done to them.
Have turned her father's
one of manipulation, Jesus juice.
2026, and it could change everything.
When one of his songs pops up on Spotify, I skip it as fast as I can. He doesn't deserve even a fraction of a cent from me for listening to his grotesque music. This is why I believe every honor Jackson ever received should be revisited, where there are many. The Grammy Awards, the American Music Awards, the Grammy Legend Award, and the Lifetime Achievement Award. Those 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. 2 inductions into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
allegedly groomed and sexually abused them.
2022 through 2025
Jackson also had them participate in a disturbing
presidential recognition from Reagan and Bush. And perhaps most galling of all, MTV's highest honor still bears his name, the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award. These honors are reminders to his accusers that he's still getting away with it. They are statements about who we, as a culture, choose to protect and celebrate. They should be withdrawn. Cancelled. Buildings and locations bearing his name should be renamed, too. That's what we can say. Don't forget to support our channel by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. We thank you all for your support.
previous case and was
Eddie, Aldo, Dominic, and Marie Nicole.